Hello and welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. And this is your friendly astrologer, Sharon. And Happy New Year! Happy New Year and Happy New Year. Okay, we are already moving into 2025, and this is my celebratory mask that I'm wearing for the holidays in this segment of your forecast for 2025. Now, we have a lot going on. We have retrogrades, and I can hardly see without my glasses. However, we have Mars retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, and Uranus in January. We also have the lunar nodes changing in January as well. Okay, and the nodes are currently in Aries and Libra. North node Aries, south node Libra, and it's moving into north node Pisces, south node Virgo. Okay, so that's a change. We also have Chiron, the wounded healer, in the sign of Aries as well. So Chiron is going to light up those places where you don't feel so good about yourself. Okay? And he's lighting this up for you to take note and work on that part of you that you should be in love with as well. Now, the other big thing that's happening is on the 1st of January, we have a Mars retrograde opposing Pluto. Okay, and this is a big deal because the oppositions are tension, and it's meant for us to grow from. However, with this tension, you can really tell how much a person has matured, because with Mars opposing his higher octave of Pluto, standing in your own power with Pluto, action-oriented Mars. And Mars is red hot, feisty, and it takes charge and want to move forward. Okay, so it will cut through anything that is in its way. All right, so with this Mars-Pluto opposition, one way that I know that it can show up in your life is that there is, arguments, that tension. Somebody who's running their Mars energy is going to go head first and talk because they are not feeling well. And it's in the sign of Leo. And Leo wants to be seen, wants to shine, which it can, but it wants your attention. Okay? And Mars will do anything to get your attention. For instance, I met this person about 9 months ago, and it was just a casual thing, nothing too serious. But as time went by, this person started to act out, and it's like, oh, I'm confused, So I'm taking the Pluto road because I'm not into arguments. I'm not trying to fight about anything with anybody, really, because I've grown enough to know that gets you nowhere, especially with someone that you don't really know, and it's not that important to me in my life. But this person was running this Mars energy to the point where he was trying to get my attention, no matter where I am. When I come out the building, there he is. When I come in the building, there he is. When I go to the washroom, there he is. And so, I just tried to stay cordial and run my energy in a way that I can ground and just take a look at what's going on. So this person is running this Mars energy and, wants attention and will do it at any cost and, wants to be chased after. I'm not that girl. And so I've had to step back and just cut it completely off because it's not healthy energy. And that's that Mars Pluto opposition. So somebody in the situation is going to have to take the high road. Otherwise, you're going to butt heads and it's going to, become something even bigger, okay? Because this is just something that is going to pass. And if you are not really, connected to someone, but they want to have, some kind of hot conversation with you, you don't have to play that game. So depending on where this opposition is happening in your chart, it could be anywhere. It could be family, it could be work, it could be, church, your organizations, and your relationships, of course. So it could be any of those areas that you may find this opposition happening in your life. And for some, you may not experience it as tension. It depends on the degrees in which this opposition shows up in your chart. Okay? So if you're not close to the degrees, then, it may not be as heated as it would be if the degrees in your chart match the degree in which this opposition is happening. Okay, so that's just one example of how it can create tension between yourself, Mars is a personal planet, and other people. Okay, so just be aware, and we will see each other in the next video. Okay, have a good day. Hello, my beautiful Aries. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow, and I am your friendly astrologer, Sharon, and this is your forecast for January 2025. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Okay, so what's happening here in January? We have Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus retrograde. Okay, we have the lunar nodes changing signs as well. Currently Aries, the north node is in Aries and the south node is in Libra currently. But in January, on the 11th, the nodes will change to Pisces north node and Virgo south node. Okay? So, on the first day, we have Mars in Leo opposing Pluto. And that's on the 1st. And this is happening in your 5th house. This is your house of children, romance, pleasure, sex, speculation, and games of chance. Okay, this may be an intense transit for you, Aries, because Mars rules your sign. All right? And you may have problems, being creative at this time because there's a lot of heat going on and tension. And this opposition may indicate, your compulsive, demanding, and willful tendencies. Okay? So, you may have, communication problems with your romantic partners and with your children if you have some. Okay? Some form of sports activity will help reduce this tension. Okay? Sex is also a good way to burn that type of energy as well. It's not a good time to take risks with games of chance. So just so you know, this is the rules of January 2025. Okay? So we have Uranus, which is turning retrograde in the sign of Taurus, and this is happening on the 2nd in your second house. Okay? And your second house is the house of finance, self-worth, material possessions, and your attitude towards your money. You might question your sense of security and try to take steps to increase it. That's all good. You may be presented with new ways to make money, and you may want to reassess your self-worth. Okay? Because it's always good to feel good about yourself. And sometimes where you don't feel good about yourself, some reflection may be necessary in order for you to really understand how you operate. Okay? So we have Venus moving into Pisces on the 3rd, and this is in your 12th house, and this is the house of self-undoing, secrets, retreats, and the unconscious mind. And because it's in Pisces, you may be, a bit sensitive, and you hold this into yourself because this is a house of things unseen. Okay? So you may be working through that within yourself, by yourself. And again, during this time, you may want to be by yourself and ponder on some of those things that might be bothering you, especially when it comes to, your self-esteem. And this is also a time where you might have secret love affairs. So, hey, this is how things go with the 12th house, So let's see, we have the Sun in Capricorn is trining Saturn in Pisces on the 4th, and this is affecting your 10th house. Your 10th house is the house of career, public life, such as how you are viewed in the world. This is a good time for work that requires discipline and self-control. And by you focusing on what you do best, it will bring some lasting results. But this is the time that you work hard because Saturn is involved. And usually when you do the things that you need to do and focus on that, Saturn generally brings rewards over time. Okay? So we have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces on the 6th. and that's in your ninth house. Your ninth house is the house of religion, law, higher education, long distance travel, teaching, and publishing, among a few other things. Okay, so here, avoid any form of misrepresentation or distortion of the truth. So, Aries rising, you hear what I'm saying? Distortion of the truth. Okay, don't be trying to make up stuff about he said, she said, or whatever, because it's going to backfire. So, having a clear mind when communicating with others about your beliefs, because Neptune brings a fog of confusion around you. And it's not just happening to you, it's happening to everybody, but this is happening in your house of higher self, okay? So this misunderstanding or misrepresentation of the truth, this house is all about the truth, okay? So, and elevating your mind. All right, so then we have Capricorn squaring Chiron, and Chiron is in Aries, so that's your first house. However, the sun is in the 10th house of career, public life, and how you are viewed in the world. Okay, you may build the confidence of those in your career environment, and you may be highly inspiring, talking people up, giving them what they need, in the form of how they feel about themselves when they're around you. And you're good good at giving those pep talks because you spend a lot of time talking, someone up and offering friendly and sincere advice, but you may not be giving yourself that healing that you need to feel whole, okay? So just know what you're doing. If you're focused on somebody else's energy, then you lose sight of your own. So the full moon in Cancer on the 12th is in your fourth house, the house of family, home, ancestors, land, and your past. You may desire to own your own home and live independently right now. Your relationship with your parents may be strained. And of course, it may be hard to control your temper because, we have a lot of this Aries Mars energy is really happening. It really is happening because I've already talked about Mars and Pluto opposition. And then we have Chiron in the sign of Aries. So, there's a lot of tension in the air this month when we speak about Mars, retrograde, and Aries. Okay? So we have Pluto in Aquarius, Cazimi, the sun. That's when they're that close together, 1 degree. And this is in your 11th house. This is the house of organization, large groups, and friends. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you. Okay, a change in the type of organizations and groups you may have been close to may be changing. Okay. The new moon in Aquarius is on the 29th, conjunct Pluto. That's in your 11th house. This is the house of organizations as well. I just spoke about the 11th house. So your contact with friends are much more deeply felt than usual now. You may feel more proactive and supportive of your friends, more so now than it have been. You may attract someone who will offer you emotional support. Okay, so this could be part of this 11th house theme for you, Aries rising. So this is what I have for you for the month of January. Try to be self-aware is what I want to say. Because when, you know, Aries rising, you're on automatic, okay? Especially with your attitude, and how you communicate with others, that's automatic. So when the opposition and Chiron come into play in your chart this month, you are going to even be more heightened with, that automatic behavior. So it's a good time for you to check yourself, check in with you, and see how you are coming across, in your public sector. Okay? Have a good day. And until next time, bye for now. Sorry I had to put my head down like that. Hello to my beautiful Taurans out there. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. And this is your friendly astrologer, Sharon, giving you your forecast for January 2025. Happy New Year! Yay! We're already into the age of Aquarius. Okay? So to begin the year, we have Mars retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, and Uranus retrograde. Okay, we have the nodes, lunar nodes changing as well on January the 11th. Okay, the North Node is moving into Pisces and the South Node is moving into Virgo. Okay, and on the first day of January, we have a Mars opposing Pluto, and that's in your fourth house. Okay, and this is the house of family, home, ancestors, land, and your past. This may be an intense transit for you, Taurus rising. Creativity may be a problem at this time. This opposition may indicate compulsive, demanding, and willful tendencies with your family members and parents. Some form of sports activity is advised. And when I say that, your body needs to move. You need to move your body more. Exercise, jogging, whatever that means to you. Okay, and then we have Uranus in Taurus, turning retrograde on the 2nd, and this is in your first house, of course, Taurus rising. You might feel the effect of this slow down motion of Uranus, chaotic energy, which can help you lock in a big idea, a thought, okay? Because, Uranus is like all of a sudden, and it's like a big spark. So when it's slowed down, it doesn't have to come to you unexpectedly, so that's a good thing. You don't have to feel uncomfortable about Uranus coming through, especially in your first house. So this is a time where you can take the opportunity and think of your next big move. All right? So Venus is moving into Pisces. And that's on the 3rd, and it's going to be in your 11th house. The 11th house is the house of organizations, groups, hopes, and wishes. In this house, you are sociable and fond of people. You may likely benefit from your associations in a social and monetary way. That's great. You may meet someone who is marriage material through a group or an organization. So for some of you single people, there could be, some love out there for you, but you have to be careful with this energy because Pisces doesn't have any boundaries, you know, so you have to help yourself with that, not to, you know, jump at the first thing and think that that's it, but you just have to think about what it is that you want for yourself and identify those qualities in that other person. And Venus is always overindulgent, okay? So you have to be careful with, you know, how you indulge with these people as well, because you may come out depleted if you don't set your boundaries here. Just so you know. All right, so we have the Sun trining Saturn, and that's on the 4th, and this is the house of the higher mind, which is your 9th house. And that house is the house of religion, higher education, long distance travel, teaching and philosophy, and publishing. Okay, you find that this is a good time to organize and make an overall plan for the way you would like to organize your life, okay? And it's also a great time for teaching, speaking, and writing. So, you know, just getting yourself organized and, let's see, and out of, so that you don't sit in the confusion, all right? Because there are some areas in this month where Neptune is making his rounds, and that could very well affect you this month as well. So just try to stay organized and stay on top of things. Taurus rising. Okay, so we have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. And this is happening on the 6th in your 8th house. Okay, the 8th house is the house of death, transformation, sex, trauma, psychological issues, and partners' money. Not just partners, but other people's money. It could be like your family member, could be, you know, your parents' money that you're managing for them, as well as your partner's money, okay? And this is the house of power and control. So Neptune, here is Neptune in your 8th house, but Neptune is gonna confuse things here. So be careful with any kind of negotiations around finances and business dealings. Try not to misrepresent yourself or distort the truth, because there is the possibility that misunderstandings may arise, okay? And you know Neptune is known for wearing those rose-colored glasses, seeing things and say, oh, I can do that. That's okay. I can spend that. Yeah, this is perfect. This is a good investment, when it may not be, okay? So just be careful with how you, what you're thinking about investing when it comes to other people's money, okay? So we have the Sun squaring Chiron, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So wherever you feel uncomfortable about parts of your body, because it's in Aries, it's a physical thing, that is where the light is going to be shining through Chiron, because Chiron wants you to recognize your flaws and try to heal that area. Be good about that area. Love that area. That's what Chiron wants you to do, is fill yourself with more of self-love about those areas that you don't love so much, okay? Or those areas that you try to hide. All right. So it's also in your ninth house. So this is definitely, about your thought process. And you may build the confidence of those in your study, religious, or teaching environments, and you may be highly inspiring and good at giving pep talks and offering friendly advice, but you may not give yourself the healing that you need to feel whole. So you need to focus on you in this area right now, with your ninth house, and be good with your mind, okay? Be good to your mind, because, you have a lot to offer. And just don't forget you, because you need to be a whole person as well. All right, we have the full moon in Cancer on the 12th. And this is happening in your third house. This is the house of your siblings, close neighbors, communication, early education, short trips. All right? And this is that house where we all take things for granted, because it's like a repetitive place where we live. So, when we see our family members, it's, oh, yeah, everything's the same. Oh, yeah, I will. Not even thinking about it. So it's like automatic processing. All right, so during this full moon, you may be much more irritable, and Cancer is the crab, okay? So the crabbiness. And you might be snappish, and this is around the friends, family, and community zone, okay? And you may not even know why you are being that way. All right, so we have Pluto in Aquarius, and it's Cazimi with the sun in Aquarius at 1 degree in your 10th house, okay? And this is the house of career, public life, such as how you are viewed in the world. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you and getting to the bottom of something. A change in job description, or a change in employment, or a retirement could be, happening for you during this month of January. And it's not to say that, it's going to happen in January. That's just something that has come up, and you might start to see, how this is unfolding, okay? Or you may make a decision to go in a different direction. Okay, so the new moon in Aquarius is on the 29th, and that's also in your 10th house, 9 days later. And you may display more emotional sensitivity and empathy towards the people you work with. Try not to blur the lines between professional and personal relationships. Your most intimate of personal life is possibly going to be on display this month. So, if you're messing around in the office, that is going to show up as well. Okay, Taurus rising, thank you so much for being here. And until next time, bye for now. Hello, my beautiful Gemini risings. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. And I am your friendly astrologer, Sharon, and this is your monthly forecast for January 2025. Happy New Year's! Happy New Year's! We are already into a new year, moving into this new year and into the age of Aquarius. So let's unpack what's going on for you in January. First of all, we have Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus all retrograde. Okay, and the lunar nodes are changing on the 11th of January to Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node. Okay, and then on the 1st, we have a Mars opposing Pluto opposition. And this is happening in your third house, Gemini rising. So this is the house of siblings, communication, friends, education, and neighbors. Early education, that is. This may be an intense transit for you. Handling creativity may be a problem. That's if you, well, we all have some kind of creativity in us. All right. So this opposition may indicate, compulsive behavior, demanding behavior, and willful tendencies with your siblings, your close friends, and your people in your neighborhood. So Gemini rising, you have that extra energy. So you may want to channel it into, working your body, getting some exercise in one way or another. Okay, so we have Uranus in Taurus retrograde, and that's on the 2nd. And this is happening in your 12th house. Okay, so you may want to take things even slower during this retrograde. Okay, and the 12th house has to do with self-undoing. Okay, it has to do with retreats, meditation, isolation, institutions, brothels, and charities. Okay. So, with this in Uranus in Taurus, it's retrograde, so it's going to slow things down. And you need to rest because it is in your 12th house. It also is about your unconscious energy. So, this may be a good time for you to do some meditation and see what comes up for you, because in the 12th house, this is the hidden enemies, and this is things that are hidden from us on a day-to-day basis. So you may want to find, look at your value system, your ancestry information is also hidden there. So there are things that you can do to find out more about who you are through this 12th house energy. And, rest and self-care and also meditation is works very well in the 12th house. Okay, and especially with Uranus retrograde, because it's not going to it doesn't have that kind of spark. Okay, so we have Venus moving into Pisces on the 3rd, and this is in your 10th house. Your 10th house is the house of career, public life, such as how you are viewed in the world. You may be emotional and sensitive and may show a deep capacity for devotion. Your artistic abilities are very keen now, and you may find yourself doing some design in your workplace. So, layout work and office redecorating is something that shows up. And you might, fall for a boss or employer. Now, here, be careful because, Pisces is easy going, and Pisces have a tendency to not have boundaries. Okay, so you need to set some boundaries about what you will and will not accept in your workplace. Okay, and Venus is she's indulgent. Okay, and it's okay to indulge some things, but you just have to understand and recognize where you draw the line. You don't want to go too far because Venus is all about love and, happiness, and, that's what's on her mind, and you're at work. So you may not want to have all of that whirlwind energy at work because it takes away from what you should be doing. Okay, so we have the sun in Capricorn. It trines Saturn, and that's on the 4th, and this is in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of death, transformation, intimacy, other people's money, power, and control. So there is a close relationship between who you are and what you do. Okay, this is a good time to re-examine your life and the structures you have built into it, such as your home situation, your work, and anything else that is important to you. Okay? Because, this is some transforming energy that can benefit you in the long run when you start to look at how you value yourself and how you see your self-worth. Okay? So you might be equating your self-worth to what it is that you do or how much money that you bring in. And you want to reassess that because your self-worth is more than that. But you have to find that out for yourself, that, it's no amount of money that can compare to your self-worth if you are valuing your self-worth, okay? So whatever you see yourself valued at, that's what other people are going to see as well. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see, we have Mercury squaring Neptune. Okay, and Neptune is in Pisces. So there is a lot of dreamy energy, foggy energy, that rose-colored glasses energy. So the 7th house is the house of relationships, partnerships, marriage, contractual agreements, and open enemies. Having a clear mind when communicating with others about your beliefs, because Neptune brings a fog of confusion and unclear energy or information around you during this time. Okay, so, with Mercury, Mercury is the communicator, and Sagittarius is all about, the religious or spiritual side of things. And Sagittarius also, it has a lot of enthusiasm. So with that, you have to be careful during this time because there's a lot of things that are unclear and is about to change as well. So, what your belief system and how you communicate that may be changing as well. So, just be careful during this time sharing information because it may not be, you know, what is actual fact right now. And this is happening in your seventh house. So, you know, your relationship space, your partnership, if you have a business that you work with people, or just your people, your general, the people that you work with in general. Okay. So having this kind of communication, you just want to be careful because you want to know, make sure that you're giving out the right information. That's all. Okay. And the sun in Capricorn is squaring Chiron in Aries. And this is happening on the 7th. And this is in the 8th house. Okay. The 8th house is the house of death, transformation, intimacy, other people's money, power, and control. So, Gemini rising, embrace this time as an opportunity to engage in deep self-reflection and inner work, and acknowledging and owning your vulnerabilities. You can transform them into sources of strength and wisdom. Cultivate self-love and nurture your inner child, allowing yourself to heal and grow. That is, you know, one of the best pieces of advice that helps us grow and become better people. And as I said before, you have Uranus retrograde in your 12th house. So this is a good time because both of these houses are about, you know, identifying your shortcomings or things that you didn't know about yourself, your heritage, your ancestry. And then again, with Chiron shedding that light on this particular house to help you, you know, check in as well. So, you know, the 12th and the 8th house, they are similar. Okay. There are psychological issues that happens in this house. So if you need to get down to the bottom of things, you may want to address it or seek out, you know, some advice from you can do an astrologer, you can do a therapist, you can do meditation. There's, you know, different ways of exploring your inner deep parts of yourself if that's what you want to do. Okay, so the full moon in Cancer on the 12th is going to be in your second house. The second house is the house of money, possessions, and your self-worth, and and what you value. This may not be a good time to spend money because with this moon in Cancer, your attitude towards possession are conditioned by your unconscious drives. And these, with this full moon, yeah, things are hidden, okay? And impulses and old thought patterns are also will also show up here. And by it being in the sign of Cancer, a water sign, Cancer also has to do with family, your family heritage, ancestry, all of that. And the moon is showing up here in the sign of Cancer, in your second house, around money. So try not to be impulsive around your money at this time, because it may cause, a rippling effect with how much is coming in as opposed to how much is going out. Okay? All right, so we have Pluto in Aquarius and is Cazimi to the Sun in Aquarius at 1 degree 5 on the 21st. And this happens in your ninth house. This is the higher mind. This is the house of religion, philosophy, morality, beliefs, higher education, long distance travel, teaching, and publishing. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you. Outdated beliefs around religion and spirituality may no longer be serving you at this time. Or maybe you are finding out new information that sounds right about what you believe in as far as how the world turns. So that information may be coming in for you and, giving you a different point of view that you can ponder or even look into. Okay? Now we have the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th, and that's in your ninth house as well. And that happens like 9 days later. And this is study. My notes are saying study or mental journal. Study or mental journey, okay? Instead of actually going on a long distance trip, you can mentally experience that. And, with all of the technology that we have these days, you can be in another country right on the computer screen in no time. So that's what this is speaking to, and saying that it could be useful because you can remain in your familiar surroundings and you don't have to go anywhere to experience this if you don't want to. Okay, Gemini rising, that is going to end our forecast for January 2025. And until next time, bye for now. Love you. Hello to my beautiful Cancers risings out there. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. And this is a magnificent flow. And I am your friendly astrologer, Sharon. And I'm giving you your monthly forecast for 2025. This is January. Okay, we're already here. Did I say Happy New Year? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yes, we're moving into 2025. And getting into the reading, we already have Mars retrograde, we have Jupiter retrograde, and we have Uranus retrograde. Okay, we have the north nodes that are moving into, we have the lunar nodes. Okay, I spoke too soon. We have the lunar nodes moving into Pisces, and this is the north node, and the south node is moving into Virgo. And this happens on the 11th of January 2025. Now, already on the 1st of January, we'll have a Mars opposing Pluto. And this is happening on the 1st in your second house, Cancer rising, okay? The second house is the house of finance, self-worth, material possessions, and your attitude towards money, okay? And this may be intense for you, because, you know, Cancer risings, you are emotional and you feel, you're, em, you're an empath, okay? And you can feel the tensions, especially when you're around other people. Okay, this opposition may indicate compulsive, demanding, and willful tendencies, okay? So you just need to breathe through it, take some baths, you know, pamper yourself. And this is about the tendencies towards money and your self-worth. You may experience harsh interpersonal power struggles with those around you, and you may want to hoard your money and possessions. Secrets, shadows, and truths may arise that may challenge your sense of identity. Okay, well, this is important because if these things are coming up for you in your second house, then change is inspiring here for the better, because you can get down to some deep, some information that's buried deep down about your self-worth, okay? Your self-esteem and how you handle money. All right, so like I said, taking some baths and pampering yourself during this opposition is going to, you know, help soothe some of that feeling, okay, as pain. You feel things, you feel them intensely when there are intense energies around Cancer rising, okay? So Uranus in Taurus turns retrograde on the 2nd, and that's in your 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of large organizations, large groups, friends, hopes, and wishes. You may be thinking about the groups and teams you associate with. On social media, you may be thinking about the audience you want to attract and to speak to. You may also have a light bulb moment that may inspire you to change up your collaborative game plan, okay? So if you don't have a plan and you're involved in these organizations, it might be time for you to step up, because you could be someone that have a platform, okay? And these people could be your audience if that's where you're headed. So just take charge and move forward, pretty much, okay? So we have Venus moving into Pisces on the 3rd, and this is affecting your 9th house. And this is the house of higher mind, religion, philosophy, beliefs, higher learning, teaching, and publishing, okay? You have a warmth and understanding for people from different backgrounds, okay? You're open to new ideas and experiences, and travel is possible. You know, it could be a business trip, or again, it could be via Skype or Zoom with some people from, you know, foreign countries. That could happen as well. Okay, but just be aware, Pisces is very spiritual, and Venus can be overindulgent. Okay, Venus loves to love, okay? And with Pisces being the spiritual energy, it gives off a very good feeling, a home feeling, like, these people that you experience, it's like you've known them forever when you really haven't, and they feel comfortable with you during this transit, this change in signs for Venus to Pisces. Okay, we have the Sun in Capricorn trine Saturn, and that's on the 4th. This happens in your 7th house. And this is a house of relationships, partnerships, contractual agreements, open enemies. There is a close relationship between who you are and what you do. Okay, again, this is about how you value yourself. This is about your self-worth. Okay, the more you feel worthy of who you are, the more other people will feel worthy of you as well. Okay, and I think I spoke to that. It says a good time to examine your life and structures you have built into it, such as your relationships, partnerships, home situation, the work that you do, and anything else that's important to you. All right, so then we have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune and Pisces in your on the 6th, in your 6th house. Okay, so this is the house of health, nutrition, routine, work, your co-workers, and subordinates, okay? So just be careful with your communication in your work situation with other people, because it's like you may not see the whole picture right now of whatever that information is. So don't jump the gun and start talking about things that hasn't really been completed or authorized, or the direction that you're going, because these things are not ready to be revealed yet. And Neptune does that. It puts us in a confusion, a fog of confusion. But we also think that we're, wearing those rose-colored glasses, and this and that, and it's going to be this way as opposed to that way. So, it's not a good time to have that kind of confidence, because Neptune is going to reveal a whole another story after, it moves out of that 6th house. Okay? So we have Sun in Capricorn squaring Chiron on the 7th, and this is in your 7th house. The 7th house is your relationship house, partnerships, marriages, contractual agreements, and open enemies. Okay? Embrace this time as an opportunity to engage in deep reflection and inner work. Acknowledging and owning your vulnerabilities, you can transform them into source of strength and wisdom. Cultivate self-love, nurture your inner child, allowing yourself to heal and grow. This is great, for you. And with the Sun trining Saturn, and Saturn is in Pisces, this is a really good time for self-reflection. Okay? So, do the work for yourself, because Chiron is putting the spotlight on that area in your life, which is your relationship house, that you need to come to some type of terms with how you feel about your relationships, and if you're feeling some kind of way, it's because there is something going on with you, not that person, in the relationship. They are probably reflecting or mirroring things about you that you need to fix for yourself, okay? And we all have free will, but this is how we grow and be better people, and we can also help other people grow as well. But just on the surface, if that's as far as you want to go, that is your choice, okay? So we have a full moon in Cancer on the 12th, and that'll be in your first house. And this is Cancer rising, and this is the house of self, personality, your physical body. You can be emotionally giving to those around you, and you can also be demanding. You may feel a need to belong and connect with friends or loved ones. Making connections with others make you sensitive to their feelings and moods. That's because you have that empathic, you're an empath is what I'll say. You can feel other people's feelings. And sometimes that, can be uncomfortable. And you have to learn how to protect yourself as well, so that you don't have to, match somebody and feel what they're feeling because they change you. Okay, you got to find the you in all of this. Yeah, you can experience that because you're in that presence, but you don't have to become it. So learning how to protect yourself from other people's energy is important. Cancer rising. Okay, at this time, because the full moon is in your first house. Pluto in Aquarius is caziming the sun in Aquarius at 1 degree. And this is in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of death, transformation, sex, trauma, psychological issues, partners, money, power, and control. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you, getting to the bottom of something, okay? And that's in your 8th house. Pluto, Kazemi, may encourage you to revel in the dark and embrace your shadow side, explore your power dynamics, and seek out what's hidden in the subconscious. Yeah, okay, because this is the 8th house, and Pluto really rules this house because Scorpio rules this house as well. And that is about, getting down to those deep fears and the dark side that we have and can experience, and that shadow work. Okay? So, yes, this is a good placement here, because it definitely shakes up things for you that is deeper than, than the surface. That's all I can say, is deeper than the surface. So these are things that we can, bring about change and grow from that. And some of this may be painful because, it's not easy to change because of the pain that it brings with it. But it's worth it in the long run, because you're going to come out, like the phoenix, and transformed. Okay, so the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th is also in your 8th house. Okay, and this is saying you may feel overly possessive about property or liking to be surrounded by old and familiar things that hold memories from the past. Okay, there may be conflict, with a partner about these possessions, because you may be desiring something that doesn't even belong to you. But because you hear it and that other person is here, you want to possess it. So there's where that can lead to. But, you know, if you look at the, if you look at things in the perspective of your eighth house, this Kazemi, then that could definitely help you change how your outlook on life, okay? Especially in the area of your eighth house, you know, because you are separate from that other person. That much you should know is that just because you're together doesn't mean everything spills over together. You know, it that's why people get prenups and all of that. But I'm just saying, you know, just recognize how much of yourself is going into somebody else's space. All right, so Cancer rising, love you. And until next time, bye for now. Hello to my beautiful Leo risings. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Yay! This is a magnificent flow, and I am your friendly astrologer, Sharon. And we are already moving into January 2025. And this is your forecast for January 2025. And at the beginning, we have Mars retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Uranus retrograde, okay? And we have the lunar nodes that are changing. The north node will move into Pisces, and the south node will move into Virgo. And this happens on January the 11th. So right out the gate on the 1st, we have Mars in opposition to Pluto. Okay, and this is going to happen in your first house. And this is your house of self, physical body, outlook in life, and your personality. At this time, your efforts to affect others and to transform conditions around you may meet with considerable resistance. Okay? And this Mars is in your first house. And you have Pluto in your seventh. So that's where the effect of other people come into play. Okay. And did I say your interpersonal power struggles may occur? Be careful in situations where you exert your control over others because they may oppose you. Okay? So the power struggles, the power struggles, okay? The drama, Leo rising. Now, you can take the high road. I mean, you don't have to always be bossy and, you know, trying to be the leader or tell people what's best for them. You don't have to take that road if you don't want to, but it's best that you do because, you know, for during this time, you don't need to have the power struggles with other people, you know, because they're going through the same thing as well. And it's not going to, you know, the clashing is it is what it is. And a lot of times people don't come back from, you know, an opposition like this. And oppositions are meant for you to grow from. So let's try and, you know, work on, you know, growing during this opposition period, because if you don't, then, you know, other opportunities are going to show up again for you to face it and know how to do it differently. Okay, so we have Uranus in Taurus turning retrograde on the 2nd of January, and this is happening in your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career, public reputation, authority figures, and leadership. It's an opportunity for integration, reflection, and inner liberation. It's an invitation to tune into the heightened intuition, knowing, and connection to who you are and the potential that exists within you. Okay, so in your 10th house, your public reputation, it's time for you to stand up and be counted, Leo. You want to be seen. You want the attention. And in your 10th house, you have this opportunity to be seen and recognized for what it is that you do in your workplace. But what is speaking to is your inner parts of yourself, not the superficial part, but the stuff that's deep within you about what you think, you should look like in your public sector, in your career, how people view you. So looking at that, that's for you to look at and for you to, take steps to make the necessary changes you need to make to match what it is that other people see as opposed as who you are, So that's what you need to do for yourself in your career space. All right, then we have Venus moving into Pisces on the 3rd, and that's in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of death, transformation, sex, trauma, physical issues, partners, money, power, and control. All right, so here is saying the start of a new relationship now may be intense. well, yes, it's in the 8th house, okay? And it may be intense throughout the duration and will have a greater impact for better or for worse. Okay, so hey, be prepared. All right, you attract money to you through your significant others, business partners, or through a bank. All right, and just know that wherever Venus is, Venus magnetizes things. Venus is magnetic, so it will magnetize money. It'll bring it to you. And all you have to do is work with Venus. So let's move on. The Sun in Capricorn trine Saturn in Pisces on the 4th. This is in your 6th house of work. This is the house of health, nutrition, routine work, co-workers, and subordinates. There is a close relationship between who you are and what you do. Okay, so this is showing up as your self-worth, your self-esteem, and what you value. Okay, this is a good time to examine your life and the structures you have built. All right. This is a good time for work that requires discipline and self-control, Leo rising. Yes, that is for you. And one other thing, it's a good time for you to get a checkup, okay? Just saying, it's a good time for you to get a checkup because this is your health, nutrition area as well. So we have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces on the 6th, and this is in your 5th house. The fifth house is the house of children, play, pleasure, romance, and hobbies. Having a clear mind when communicating with others is essential, okay? So you want to, well, just understand that Neptune and Pisces can bring confusion in conversations because Neptune is bringing a blanket of fog around your head, your communication space, because Mercury is the communicator and your fifth chakra as well. But here is where, your romance and your children are. So you may not be on the same page with your romantic partner. There may be some some confusion about where you stand or what this is. And then at the same time with your children, if you have children, they may not be in the best headspace during this transit as well. Because it's going to be, you talk, they listen, but what you said and what they heard may not be the same thing. Okay? All right, so the Sun in Capricorn squares Chiron in Aries on the 7th, and that's in your 6th house as well. The 6th house, we already talked about. I think I was just saying that. Is your house of health, nutrition, routine, work, co-workers, subordinates. So this is a time to embrace this time as an opportunity to engage in deep reflection, okay? Because Chiron is putting that spotlight on your weaknesses. And all it's saying is let's, build this up more so you'll be more fortified. That's what Chiron is about, okay? So embrace the time as an opportunity to engage in deep self-reflection and inner work, acknowledging and owning your vulnerabilities. Okay, you can transform them into sources of strength and wisdom. Cultivate self-love, nurture your inner child, allowing yourself to heal and grow. And that's really the specific point of Chiron being here, is because Chiron is going to show us where we feel less, okay? And we want to be whole and feel more, through all of this, okay? Whatever this is to you, your body, mind, and spirit, you want to be whole. You want to be fortified. You want to be in a position where you can be authentic and no one can take anything away from you, period. Okay, so we have a full moon in Cancer on the 12th, and this is in your 12th house. And this is the house of retreat, escape, letting go, and institutions. Let's see, house of retreat, escape, letting go, and institutions. Seems like a house of undoing, okay? You may be tempted to withdraw and keep your feelings secret, especially if you are insecure about your inner self. Purge your need to communicate your deeper, okay, let go, purge. And then you need to communicate your deep inner feelings to someone you can trust, okay? And because it's a feminine moon, it might be, a female who you trust enough to tell your deep, dark secrets, okay? And then we have Pluto Cazimi, the sun in Aquarius on the 21st, and that's in your 7th house. And the seventh house is the house of relationships, partnerships, marriage, contractual agreements, legal issues or agreements, and open enemies. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you, getting to the bottom of something. The Pluto cazimi may encourage you to revel in the dark spaces and embrace your shadow side. Explore your power dynamics and seek out what's hidden in the subconscious. Okay, this has to do with your relationships, okay, how you interact with those people in the seventh house. So there is something that Pluto is clearing out, burning away, so that you can, it's like, if something is stuck there, you can't put anything else there because you haven't removed, the roots of whatever the cause is. And in this case, it has to do with your relationships with partners and, your work partners, your marriage partner, that kind of thing. So there is an opportunity for growth here because Pluto is trying to help you release what is no longer serving you. And there's no need in holding on to it. And sometimes we don't even know that it's there. Okay, but when Pluto comes in, it's going to dig up the root of things, as I said before, and we may not have known those roots are still there, or we never question what is not right in the relationship or what's affecting the relationship in this way, within me. So that's where we are. And Pluto is doing what needs to be done, and you just have to stay out of resistance and just work through it. Okay? Now, the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th conjuncts Pluto. The seventh house is the house we just talked about: relationships, partnerships, marriage, and contractual agreements. Okay? Conflicts with others will be much more emotional. Okay? And you may find it difficult to maintain any degree of detachment. And this makes it easy for an opponent to control you. Okay, so this new moon is illuminating what is happening for you and with this cazimi energy that's happening on the 21st. Okay, so just keep in mind, whatever the conflicts are, you are, much more emotional. So, pay attention to, what's going on around you and what kind of conversations you are having with who. But generally, you'll know that, if this is not working right, we're not on the same page, you'll know, you already know that. And what you need to do is, work through it or let it go. So, anyways, Leo rising, thank you so much for being a part of the channel. And until next time, bye for now. Hello to my beautiful Virgoans out there. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. And I'm your friendly astrologer, Sharon, and this is your monthly forecast for January 2025. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year. All right, so we're moving right on into the age of Aquarius. Okay, and as we move forward, we have Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus all retrograde. We have the lunar nodes changing signs on the 11th, 2025 into Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node. Okay, and on the 1st of January, we have Mars opposing Pluto in your 12th house. Okay, this is the house of endings, undoing, loss, retreat, escape, letting go, and institutions. At this time, your efforts to affect others and to transform conditions around you may meet with considerable resistance. Oh, gosh, excuse me. Interpersonal power struggles may occur. Be careful in situations where you exert your control over others because they may oppose you. Your hidden enemies are also here. So, with this happening in your 12th house, this is a good opportunity to kind of, take it easy, lay low, rest, okay? And pamper yourself in some kind of way. And meditation, yoga are all good sources for you to give to yourself during this opposition, because it's creating a lot of tension, okay? And right now you don't want to be you don't want to be seen, okay? You want to deal with things in secret. And you want to keep those things to yourself. So do that. Because you already know, that people are not, they don't have your best at heart. So you just want to rest, lay low, give to yourself, replenish, okay? Do some meditation, or just, question what is it that you need to release in order for you to grow from this experience. All right? So now we have Uranus and Taurus turning retrograde on the 2nd. And this is in your 9th house. This is the house of higher self, religion, higher education, long distance travel, teaching, and philosophy. Okay, it's something else, but you get the gist. Have an open mind and you may be drawn to new stimulating ways of thinking. Yeah, travel or a change of residence will revolutionize your life in some way. That's great. And with Uranus retrograde, that's slowing down the pace. So you do have the opportunity to think, and you don't have to be so quick about it. Because Uranus, when it's moving forward, things happen in lightning fast, okay? So just so you know. Now we have Venus moving into Pisces on the 3rd, and that's in your 7th house. Perfect place for love. The 7th house is the house of partnership, marriage, contractual agreements, and open enemies. This is one of the best positions for all relationships. Yes, it sounds good to me too. And love affairs, relationships with partners, co-workers, and even your enemies. Okay, this is showing affection is easy to give and receive. A love may come to you if you are single. Wow. Well, hopefully that works out for you, Virgo. So let's move into the Sun in Capricorn trining Saturn. So this is the house of children, creativity, fun, risk-taking, sex, and fertility. This is a good time to examine your life and the structures you have built into it as your children, romantic partners, home situation, the work that you do, and anything else that's important. Okay? So it's a good idea to, examine how you feel about where your life is heading through this house. Are you satisfied? Or, does it give you enough? Or what are you missing? But anyway, this is a good time because it's a trine, it's easy going. It's not like it's going to cause any serious pain or problems. So Mercury in Sagittarius is squaring Neptune in Pisces on the 6th. And this happens in your fourth house of family, home, ancestors, land, and your past, even past lives. Okay, having a clear mind when communicating with others about your beliefs, because Neptune brings a fog of confusion and you're not clear about what's true at this time. So just, be careful of what you are speaking or communicating to people in your family about, what you believe. And because Sagittarius represents your belief system, religion, your spirituality. And Neptune, to an extent, dives deep into the spiritual parts as well. In Pisces, that is true too. Okay, so this is the things that's getting stirred up is in your fourth house. Do you, you're looking at your ancestral heritage, what they brought you, okay? And then what your family is passing down to you as well. And all of these things could be past life information that wants to show up, but it's not a good time to, talk about it, because once Neptune move out of this house, then things will be more clearer and you'll be able to see what it is that you want to create for yourself if what you already know doesn't work for you. Okay? So we have the Sun in Capricorn squaring Chiron in Aries on the 7th, and this happens in your 5th house. So Chiron is shining the light on your 5th house, wanting you to recognize what you need to fix within yourself in order for you to be truly happy in your 5th house. And that is your children, your creativity, how much fun you can have, risk taking, sex, and fertility. Okay, so my notes are saying embrace this time as an opportunity to engage in deep self-reflection and inner work. Acknowledging and owning your vulnerabilities, you can transform them into sources of strength and wisdom. Cultivate self and nurturing your inner child. I said cultivating self-love, that's what I meant. And nurture your inner child, allowing yourself to heal and grow. Okay? So this is the house of, play, fun, and you may take things a bit serious. And Chiron is just showing you where you can tear down those walls that you used, growing up and learning what your parents taught you and how you present yourself into the world. So Chiron is helping you identify those parts of you that needs to be healed, changed, and and new growth can come to. So you don't have to always follow the rules that your parents presented you with, or even society. You can, you can have more fun. You can be more creative. It's up to you. But with the sun in Capricorn, Capricorn is very serious. And Chiron in Aries is about, fixing things. Let's get to it. If it doesn't work, then I don't want to do it, that kind of thing. So it's about letting go of things that no longer serve you here. All right, Virgo rising. Let's see. Where did I go? Fifth house. Okay, so we have the full moon in Cancer on the 12th, and this is in your 11th house. This is the house of friends, groups, community, social connections, hopes, and wishes. It's a good time to share your emotional feelings with female friends. You may be more protective and supportive than usual, or you may attract someone who gives you needed emotional support. So this is the full moon in Cancer. Cancer is this Cancer full moon makes you an emotional person, because Cancer is emotional anyway. And but communicating with women friends is a good way to have support and give support. All right, so we have Pluto in Aquarius, and it's Cazimi, the sun in Aquarius, at 1 degree 5. And this is in your 6th house, the house of health, nutrition, routine, work, co-workers, subordinates. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you, getting to the bottom of something. You may be working on deepening your self-awareness and raising your personal power in your workplace. This transit has the power to attract more money, wealth, magnetism, and fame. Okay, I like that. That's power. All right, power. Okay, so then we have, let's see, this is in your 6th house. So, check on yourself, get a health checkup, okay? And make sure you're eating right, get your rest, do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. And then we have a new moon in Aquarius on the 29th, that's 9 days later, and this is also in your 6th house. You may prefer to turn your attention you may turn your attention to home craft, personal hygiene, home care, or general reorganization of personal aspects of your life. And that's partly because the 6th house is the house of service, serving other people. So with this new moon energy is about you creating your intentions for a new beginning. Okay? So that's kind of the 6th house, and this new moon in the 6th house doesn't give it to you. So you have to, use another aspect or another house, which is where the moon comes in. So these are moon things when you look at what you may turn your attention to. Okay, so Virgo rising. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel, and I wish you well. And until next time, bye for now. Hello to my beautiful Librans out there. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. This is your general reading for January 2025. And I am your friendly astrologer, Sharon. And Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Okay, we are moving into the age of Aquarius. It has already begun in November. And now we're moving further into the age of Aquarius and this new year. Okay? So, right at the beginning of the year, we have Mars retrograde, we have Jupiter retrograde, we have Uranus retrograde. We also have the lunar nodes changing to Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node. And this happens January 2025. And on the 1st of January, we have a Mars opposition to Pluto. And this is happening in your 11th house. This is the house of friends, groups, community, social connections, hopes, and wishes. This may be an intense transit for you, Libra. Okay, handling things creatively may be a problem. The opposition may indicate compulsive, demanding, and willful tendencies when it comes to your friends, groups, and social organizations and social interaction, because this can represent the internet as well. Some form of sport activity is advised. You may be able to work through this energy by, working out some, moving your body. You are ruled by Venus, so Libra rising may be a good idea for you to, submerge yourself in a bath, a hot bath, and maybe get a massage. Allow your body to drain through the lymphatic system and just give you some positive energy. Okay? So we have Uranus and Taurus turning retrograde on the 2nd, and this is in your 8th house. The 8th house is the house of death, transformation, intimacy, other people's money, power, and control. Okay? It's possible, it says, be extra careful with financial transactions, especially if they involve other people's money. It's possible that you learn how to make adjustments that will improve your money matters. This transit can help you break the chains of your shadow side, opening up new opportunities for personal growth. Now that's a good thing here, with Uranus transiting here in retrograde form, because usually Uranus, works at lightning fast, okay, lightning bolts, but it's in retrograde, so things are slowing up, which is good for you to be able to think things through and see an opportunity when it presents itself. Okay, so Venus moves to Pisces on the 3rd, and that's in your 6th house. The 6th house is the house of nutrition, health, routine work, co-workers, and subordinates. During this time, you should enjoy good relationships with both superiors and employees. You may gain financial or other favors unexpectedly from your employer. You may have the tendency to entertain fantasies in your mind, however. You need to stay in the present moment. Try to avoid overindulgence. Yeah, that's a good idea. And just know that Venus magnetizes things to us. You know, it magnetizes money, just having this in general. So just be aware of that. Okay, the Sun in Capricorn trine Saturn in Pisces. This happens on the 4th, and it happens in your 4th house. The 4th house is the house of family, home, ancestors, land, and your past life. This is a good time to organize and make an overall plan for the way you want to present yourself, you know, and arrange your affairs in an orderly manner so that everything that you do is filed away. Okay, this is, you know, just about being organized. Organize your life. Sometimes we get caught up and become a little too hoardy, but that can change as well. So instead of having things everywhere and you having to go look here and there, it's best to get yourself organized, and that way you don't have to be wondering where it is, you know, or spending too much time and energy trying to find things that you don't know where it is. Okay, so let's see. We have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces, and that's on the 6th in your 3rd house. This is the house of siblings, communication, friends, early education, neighbors, and short trips. Avoid any form of misrepresentation or distortion of the truth. Having a clear mind when communicating with others about your beliefs, because Neptune brings the fog of confusion around your communication space. Okay. Okay, so I also want to say, you know, short travel plans are not advised as well because of the miscommunications may cause you to, you know, miss a flight or have to lay over for too long. Those types of things can happen. Okay, so Sun in Capricorn square Chiron in Aries on the 7th happens in your 4th house. So the 4th house is the house of family, home, ancestors, land, and your past. You're highly sensitive to any criticism of your individuality. Okay, you may have to struggle to accept aspects of your identity. You may have to work through blockages to validate your sense of self, and you also may be sensitive to others who want to bring their gifts and identify, what am I saying? Work through blockages to validate your sense of self. Oh, and you are also sensitive to others who want to bring their gifts and identity in alignment. Okay? So, really, this is in your 4th house. This is like family matters. And Chiron is here, shining the light. Okay, so you see what it is that you have to do. You are already going to be experiencing it. It's just time for you to look at it for what it is and let it go. And in the process, you need to, love yourself more for these places within you that you're not happy with. Okay? It's all about nourishing. You have to nourish those spaces just like you nourish other parts of yourself as well. So when you get the total whole of you, you have to love those dark places as well. All right, so we have the full moon in Cancer on the 12th in your 10th house. Is the house of career, public reputation, authority figures, and leadership. During this time, you may show more emotional sensitivity and empathy towards the people you work with. Your emotions may be on public display. It's a full moon. Try not to blur the lines between personal and professional relationships. Okay? And just so you know, if things are not working well with, the person that you are have a relations with in your workplace, all of that is going to come out in the open. All right? Just so you know. So now we have Pluto in Aquarius is cazimi to the sun in Aquarius at 1 degree on the 21st, and this is in your 5th house. This is the house of children, creativity, fun, risk-taking, sex, and fertility. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you. Romantic relations that don't seem to be making any traction will be cleared. You may be seeking new and different romantic partners. Well, I can see that happening. Let's see. Okay, well, we can leave it at that. Yeah, creativity may not be as high as it can be, doing creative projects. Okay, so we have the new moon 9 days later, or is that 8 days later? The new moon in Aquarius. This is the house of children. Oh, it's in the same house as the cazimi. Creativity, fun, risk-taking, sex, and fertility. Your protective and nourishing instincts may be aroused, and your desire to care for someone is strong. Children and loved ones may be of concern. Avoid being overprotective. Relations with women are improved. Okay, so there we have it. The whole month of January, Libra rising. And I thank you so much for being a part of the channel, and I look forward to seeing you more in the new year. And until next time, bye for now. Hello to my beautiful Scorpio risings. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. And I am your friendly astrologer, Sharon. And this is your forecast for January 2025. Wow. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Okay, so we're going to get right into the forecast. We have Mars, Jupiter, Uranus, all in retrograde mode. Then we have the lunar nodes changing. North node moving into Pisces, south node moving into Virgo, and this happens on January the 11th, 2025. Okay. We have Mars opposing Pluto on January the 1st. And you know, oppositions are always going to create a lot of tension. So there could be arguments, you know, among people. And this is happening in your 12th house. No, I'm sorry. This is happening in your 10th house. The 10th house is the house of career, public reputation, authority figures, and leadership. Okay, whatever the issue that arises at work, make sure your position is as secure as possible and ask for help from others. Resist the temptation to address issues alone. Okay, so, you know, this is a tense moment that you don't want to be, you know, going out and trying to handle business on your own, because you're going to need people to support whatever those efforts are. And if you have, you know, enough support, then, you know, you can negotiate. However, you can wait until this opposition clears itself instead of trying to work out something that is causing a lot of upsets, because that's what this opposition is doing. It's argumentative, you know, and some people just don't want to let go of the rain, if that's what it comes down to. Okay, Scorpio rising. Uranus in Taurus turns retrograde on the 2nd, and this is in your 7th house. The 7th house is the house of relationships, partnerships, marriage, contractual agreements, and open enemies. You may learn how to find more freedom in your committed relationships. This may bring you closer together and helping you establish an even deeper trust. Relationships may end as well. Okay, you may create an unconventional romantic union that is fulfilling for the both of you. Well, that's inspiring. Now we have Venus moving into Pisces, and this is on the 3rd, and it happens in your 5th house. This is the house of children, creativity, fun, risk-taking, sex, and fertility. You can relate well with children now. A good time for games and fun. Yeah. Artistic pursuits are favorable. Romance is favorable. And stepping out on the town is also favorable. Hey, win-win. Okay, Scorpio rising. We have Sun trining Saturn. And this is on the 4th, and it'll be in your 3rd house. This is the house related to siblings, close neighbors, communication, short trips, early education, and friends. This is a good time for work that requires discipline and self-control. You can arrange and make an overall plan for the way you would like to manage your affairs through writing and any other form of communication that's available. All right. So we have Sun and Capricorn squaring Chiron on the 7th. This is in your 3rd house as well. Okay. And you know, I just spoke about the 3rd house, the house of related to siblings, neighbors, friends, communication, short trips, early education. Okay. So with this, it may be hard for you to express your unique ideas and vision, and you may become frustrated after repeatedly feeling like that your willpower is not as strong as you need it to be. Okay, and Chiron is here, shedding that light on, you know, where you are vulnerable. And that's where you need to build your own strength within. Okay, let go of, you know, that part that no longer serves you and allow yourself to be strong and work on owning your personal power. Okay, we have the full moon in Cancer on the 12th and in your ninth house. This is the higher house of higher mind, religion, higher education, long distance travel, teaching, and philosophy. Study or mental journals or mental journeys may be more useful because you can remain in familiar surroundings supported by the comforts of your own home. This just means that, you know, you can communicate with other people via Zoom or through the internet or, you know, all of this technology that we have. You can be in different places and see how other people are experiencing their lives, which we see this all the time on Instagram, on TikTok, and, you know, all those other places, platforms. All right. So then we have Pluto, Cazimi, the sun. Okay. At 1 degree. And this happens on the 21st, and it happens in your fourth house of family, home, ancestry, land, and your past life. This is where people, this is where Pluto was clearing out what no longer serves you. Anything that is in need of repair around the home should be paid attention to, okay? Rearranging things in the home and getting rid of things that are no longer needed is a good opportunity. So seize the moment. Okay, so my, let's see, let me go back down here to the last. Okay, the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th, 8 days later, conjuncts Pluto, fourth house. And the fourth house, again, is about your family, home, you know, your parents, ancestors, land, and your past life. You may be looking at parts of who you are and how habits and past conditioning controls your life now. A realization may occur through a confrontation with another person. It could be another female that, you know, gives you this wake-up call. Okay, Scorpio rising, this is your monthly forecast for January 2025. And until next time, bye for now. Love you too. Hello to my beautiful Sagittarians out there. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. This is Sharon, your friendly astrologer, and this is your monthly forecast, January 2025. Happy New Year! Yay! We're moving right into the age of Aquarius. So we started that journey on November the 19th, and now we're in it, and we're just going to be moving forward from here on in. Okay? So let's get into your forecast. We have Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus all retrograde in January. The lunar nodes, they will change on the 11th of January. North node in Pisces, South node in Virgo. And on the very first day of January, we have a Mars opposed Pluto. And that's in your ninth house. This is the house of higher mind, religion, higher education, long distance travel, teaching, and philosophy, and publishing as well. Someone may challenge your ideas or question your beliefs, and you take them personally, and you may feel the need to defend your perspective of the world. Okay? Now, I mean, it's dialogue is good, but just make sure that you're not acting out of anger, Sag, because anger doesn't change the situation. Okay? And you don't have to please everybody. You know, if someone's questioning your belief system and you feel like you have more communication to share, yeah, share it, but don't come from a place of they supposed to know that what you're saying should be the same thing as they believe, because, you know, if that's coming up, it doesn't. So just saying it's time to take the high road, you know, and communicate whatever you need to communicate with grace, okay? Not out of anger, with grace. Okay, so let's move on. We have Uranus and Taurus turning retrograde on the 2nd, and this happens in your 6th house. And this is your house of health, nutrition, routine, work, co-workers, and subordinates. You may discover how you are meant to assist others during this time on the planet. It may also deepen your intuitive connections with your pets. That's in your 6th house, yep. All right. So we have Venus moving into Pisces on the 3rd, and this happens in your 4th house. And this is the house of family, home, ancestors, land, and your past life. This, your parents as well, okay? And your siblings, family. All right, this is a good time to experience closeness and warmth of family living. Yeah, you want your home to be elegant, gay, or full of light, but try to avoid being too lavish and have a more practical approach. And that's because Venus is lavishing, and Pisces don't generally have boundaries that they're setting for when they want to do things or be with people. They kind of follow along, but you need to, you know, just create some boundaries here when you decide to rearrange your environment, your home environment. So just have a practical approach, and beware your digestive tract may suffer if you overindulge in food and drink. Okay? Just so you know, because Venus is all about eating. Okay, sugary, sweet stuff. All right, so we have the Sun in Capricorn trine Pisces. The Sun in Capricorn is trining Saturn in Pisces. And this is happening on the 4th. And this is in your 2nd house. This is the house of finance, self-worth, material possessions, and your attitude towards money, self-esteem, what you value as well. There is a close relationship between who you are and what you do. You can organize and make an overall plan for the way you would like to do and then arrange them accordingly. Okay, so this is all tangible stuff, you know. This is getting into paperwork kind of thing. But what I wanted to say here is that your self-worth may be connected to how much money you make or what you do in your job. And just note that that doesn't have to be the case, because I think each and every one of us are, our self-worth has more value than any job or any amount of money that we make. Okay? So the more you are worthy of yourself and the more self-esteem you have, the more other people will see your self-worth as you see it. Okay? And that again, that could bring in, more money in your life when you have that attitude about your self-worth. You are worthy than so much more. So how you express that would be something you have to work on. Okay? So we have Mercury in Sagittarius square Neptune. Neptune brings a fog. Oh, this is in your first house. I apologize. This is the house of self, physical body, personality. Neptune brings a fog of confusion. So be careful with what you get yourself into. It's always involving other people. So try not to misinterpret, try not to misrepresent yourself or distort the truth, because there is the possibility that a misunderstanding may arise, and try to stay out of the fantasy land, okay? Because in your first house, people are watching you, all right? They're looking at you. So be you, and again, try not to, misrepresent you. Okay, let's see, we have the Sun in Capricorn squaring Chiron, and this is happening on the 7th, and it's happening in your second house. So Chiron is shining that light on this area where you need to heal yourself, Sagittarius rising. So this is the house of your self-worth, finance, material possessions, and your attitude towards money. And this light may be, Chiron is shining light on how you may be invalidating yourself. Okay, and I just spoke a little bit about your self-worth with that trine up there. And let's see, having compassion for being vulnerable and asserting your passion. Vulnerable in asserting your passion. Okay, it's okay to show that you love yourself and showing others that they can do the same. Okay, so it's time for you to, love yourself more. Have that compassion for yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself about where you are financially, or what you want to aspire to, so that you can have your material possessions if that's what you seek. But definitely finance and self-worth is a topic for Chiron to help you. You need to rethink, how you see yourself, and how you identify with your self-worth. Because, we all have to look inside of ourselves at some point. And I know that, that's happened to me before, having to do with my self-worth. And I wasn't making the money that I wanted because my self-worth, I didn't know it. So I was accepting things that once I got into it and was working the job, I wasn't happy because I didn't have the money. I wasn't getting paid what I thought I was worth. Okay, so now that this is being opened up to you with Chiron, it's a good idea to, just up your value, of who you are. All right, so let's see. We have the full moon on the 12th, and that's in the sign of Cancer, and this is lighting up your eighth house. This is the house of death, transformation, intimacy, other people's money, power, and control. During this transit, your emotional experiences are much more intense than usual. It's in the eighth house. Okay. Watch which show up in the situation and people that you are drawn to. Okay, so it's intense, so you're going to draw intense people into your life. Your second house energy is also affected, and this you may be overly possessive about property, or are liking to be surrounded by old familiar things that hold memories from your past, but you may desire something that doesn't belong to you. So you may be getting into the possession things in the second house, and in the eighth house you have, may have a partner, because that's other people's money. It could be your parents as well as your partner. Okay, and they have possessions too, and what you like may not belong to you. So that's just something that shows up. All right, so Pluto in Aquarius is Cazimi the sun at 1 degree on the 20th in the third house. Okay, this house is related to siblings, close neighbors, communication, short trips, early education, and friends. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you, getting to the bottom of something. You might experience power dynamics or control issues with siblings and close friends. Shifts in your perspective and how you process information that can lead to breakthroughs that changes your belief or opinions. Well, transformation or situation in your third house, your communication. Yeah, processing information. I get it, because the third house is the house of communication as well. Okay, so let's move on to the last thing that's happening for the month of January. We have the new moon in Aquarius, and that's on the 29th, and that also happens in your third house. Okay. This is a house that's taken for granted daily, and your thinking may unduly be influenced by past experience, habits, and reactions to stimuli put out by others. But this is also a new moon where you should be creating your new intentions for going forward, okay? Try not to react to others with an automatic frame of mind. Okay, because, whenever the moon is involved, we're in our feelings. Okay, Sagittarius rising, this is your forecast for January 2025. And until next time, bye for now. Love you. Hello to my beautiful Capricorn risings. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow, and I am your friendly astrologer, Sharon, and this is your forecast for January 2025. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Yes! Okay, we're going to get right into 2025 right now. We have Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus all retrograde. Okay, we have the lunar nodes changing January the 11th, 2025 to Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node. On the very first day, we have Mars in Leo opposing Pluto in Aquarius in your 8th house. Now, the 8th house is the house of death and other people's money, partners, finances, transformation, sex, psychological issues, fear, power, and control. You may encounter some sort of power struggle with your significant other, and you may need to get a professional involved, such as a psychiatrist, because it does represent psychological issues here. So, Capricorn rising, just keep that in mind, and just know you don't have to be in a struggle. But if you want to be in the struggle, that's what you do, okay? But any advice is like you may want to seek some professional help. I say this because Mars is impatient, Mars is action oriented, Mars will, create the problems. But where is Mars in your chart? Okay, or how is this going to work out for you individually? And this is for collectives. And if you want to know more about your rising sun and moon, you can go to astro.com and plug in your birth numbers and you'll get a free chart and it'll show you everything you need to know. Okay, so we have Uranus in Taurus turns retrograde on the 2nd of January, and this is in your 5th house of children, creativity, fun, risk-taking, sex, and fertility. You might experience a desire for more freedom or question the conventional aspects of your connections. It can be a good time to address patterns that have been holding you back. Wow, that's pretty good. All right, we have Venus moves to Pisces on the 3rd, and this is in your 3rd house. This is the house of siblings, communication, friends, early education, and neighbors. All your dealings with people from the 3rd house will be pleasant and light, which is, thank goodness. Tell those closest to you you love them. You may want to beautify your neighborhood or introduce art into that environment. Well, this is good because, Venus is all about love. And a lot of times in this 3rd house, we forget to tell people in our family, friends, and neighbors how much we care for them. Because we operate from, a place of automatic, I'll see you later, the same thing every day, bye, like that. So with Venus here, letting people know that you love them, I love you, carries a lot of weight, okay? The Sun in Capricorn trine Saturn in Pisces on the 4th. This happens in your 1st house. Capricorn rising. This is the house of self, personality, and your physical body. There is a close relationship between who you are and what you do. Okay? So we're talking your self-esteem, your self-worth. That issue is what's showing up. And you seem to be in a good place because it's a trine. Take this as an opportunity to examine your life. Look at your habits, your home situation, and your work. Okay? So this is easygoing information because this is a trine. But, it's always good when everything is going well to take a look at how you feel about you. Check in with yourself. Mercury in Sagittarius square Neptune in Pisces on the 6th. This is in your 12th house. The 12th house is the house of endings, undoing, loss, retreat, escape, letting go, and institutions. You may find yourself by daydreaming. You may find yourself daydreaming during this transit. Your communication with others may be misunderstood. You may have a difficult time relating to the world as it really is. Well, yeah, I can see that happening in the 12th house. This is, the house of retreat, where you hide, where you escape, and but anyway, take it easy, because if you do have a hard time relating to people, you want to, lay low, take care of your mind, body, spirit, take a bath, get into some water, because Neptune and Pisces are water, okay? And just take it easy on yourself. Okay, so which one did we have? This is the Sun in Capricorn squared Chiron in Aries on the 7th. This is in your first house of self, personality, physical body. This aspect may stir up feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. Okay, it also represents an opportunity for growth. You can gain an even better understanding of yourself and develop a stronger sense of authenticity. That's good. Okay, I don't really need to say more, because, Chiron is spotting the light on your first house. Okay, and you just have to work on your self-esteem. Okay, we have the full moon in Cancer on the 12th. And this is in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, marriage, contractual agreements, and open enemies. You may want to express yourself in an emotional way than usual. The support of loved ones and partners are much more important to you now. Okay? Any conflict will be very emotional, and it may be difficult to maintain any degree of detachment and objectivity. We have Pluto in Aquarius, Cazimi, the Sun in Aquarius at 1 degree, 5 seconds on the 21st. And this happens in your second house. This second house is the house of finance, self-worth, material possessions, and your attitude towards money. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you. Is your self-worth accurate? Have you looked at your value system? That's just something that I figure is worth saying. Okay, then we have the new moon in Aquarius on the 29th. And that's happening in your second house as well. And it's a time when you emotionally identify with your possessions or the things you value. You may develop a strong attachment to material objects and a general attitude of possessiveness of them. You may unconsciously identify with your own value system to such an extent that you feel every challenge to it is a direct challenge to yourself. Okay, so you may want to look at that. And this is a new moon, so set your intentions to change that. Because, I know that must be a lot of work that you have to do trying to be something that you may not be, okay? So take a look at that for yourself, Sag. And I'm sorry, this is Capricorn rising. And until next time, Capricorn rising, bye for now. Hello to my beautiful Aquarians out there. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. And I'm your friendly astrologer, Sharon. And this is your monthly forecast for January 2025. All right, Aquarius rising. Let's get right into it. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. All right. So we have Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus retrograde. We have the lunar nodes changing to Pisces North Node, Virgo South Node on January the 11th. And the very first day of January, we have Mars in Leos opposing Pluto in Aquarius on the 1st. And this happens in your 7th house. Okay, this is the house of relationships, partnerships, marriage, contractual agreement, legal agreements, our legal documents, and open enemies. All right, so this could be the culmination of successful effort, and it is also a sign of power struggles with those closest to you. You may have to ask others for support, and don't try to handle things on your own. Yeah, I see. Uranus in Taurus turns retrograde on the 2nd. And this is in your 4th house of family, home, ancestors, land, and your past life. You may learn something that surprises you about one or more of your family members. You may have a desire for freedom and independence, or you may experience unexpected changes or disruptions in your home. Okay, and I can see that too. With Venus moving into Pisces on the 3rd, and this is also in your second, not also, but this is in your 2nd house. The 2nd house is the house of finance and self-worth, material possessions, and your attitude towards money. Venus attracts material possessions, money, and people. Be careful with your spending because Venus likes lavish things and she is not practical. Setting boundaries and creating a budget will help. Okay, Venus. Sun in Capricorn trine Saturn in Pisces on the 4th. This happens in your 12th house. Your 12th house is the house of endings, undoing, loss, retreat, escape, and letting go. Well, letting go and institutions. This transit may lead to a stronger connection with your inner self and self-reflection. Introspection can help you uncover hidden truths about your past and your emotional patterns. Oh, wow, that's been happening. Mercury in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces, and this is happening on the 6th in your 11th house. This is the house of friends, group, community, social connections, hopes, and wishes. Daydreaming is one of the effects of this transfer. You should strive to keep all your communication and thinking clear, lucid, factual, and rooted in reality. Try to avoid any form of misrepresentation or distortion of the truth in this social area. Okay, that's your 11th house. You don't want to misconstrue information to other people because this is, it's going to show up not quite right. Because Neptune is, gonna put you in the fog. Okay, and then it makes you think, oh, it's okay. I know this is going to work, and they don't. So just be cautious. All right, we have Sun in Capricorn squared Chiron in Aries on the 7th, and this is also happening in the 12th house of endings, undoing, loss, retreat, escape, letting go, and institutions. Okay, solitude or spiritual pursuits may excuse me, and you may be releasing old wounds. And this could also mean wounds from a past life. And working behind the scenes is generally like working through your dreams, the work that happens when you dream. And sometimes this aspect can make you talk in your dreams and be angry in your dreams. So, yeah, this in your 12th house could definitely help you to heal any trauma from past lives or from early or in gestation as well. But this is a lot of unconscious energy that you no longer need. And you might have been, working on yourself to that extent. And if you have, then that's good because, this stuff is going to relieve you of the karma, all right? Karma. Okay, let's move on. We have the full moon in Cancer on the 12th, and that's in your 6th house. And your 6th house is the house of health, nutrition, routine, work, co-workers, and subordinates. The moon needs for personal and emotional contact doesn't work in this house. You may turn your attention to home crafts because this 6th house is the house of service. It's the house where we serve the public. So with this full moon in Cancer, you want to look at, the moon, what this full moon needs from you. So this is a part where we're releasing those things that are no longer serving us. Health and nutrition is one thing that this full moon can reveal because something about the stomach or your digestive system may come into play with that as well. Okay, Pluto in Aquarius is cazimi to the Sun in Aquarius at 1 degree 5 inches. I think that's what it is, a 5 something, on the 21st in your 1st house. This is the house of self, personality, and physical body. This is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you, getting to the bottom of something. This transit puts the spotlight on the way you think, on the way you think, on the way you are, and how you look. Okay? So, with this cazimi, you are, the attention on yourself has to do with, do you like it? Okay, do you like the way you look, or do you need to change anything about that? And you may be looking at, parts of yourself that you can make better. Okay, so we have the the last aspect of the month is the new moon in Aquarius, and that's on the 29th. This is the house of self again, personality and physical body. You may be more emotionally giving to those around you. However, you may also be emotionally demanding as well. So, that can, balance itself out. But anyway, you are learning to stand in your own power. Okay, so that's what's happening here. Getting rid of the getting to how others see you. And making sure that what you reflect out in the world is the authentic side of who you are. Okay, so set your intentions, because this moon is in your first house, and you can, change that by, losing some weight if you need to, getting your body worked out, massages, and, exercise is another thing that you can set your intentions for this new moon in your first house. Okay? So, beautiful Aquarius rising. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. And until next time, bye for now, and I love you. Hello to my beautiful Pisces rising. Welcome to my channel, A Magnificent Flow. This is your forecast for January 2025. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. We're moving right into a new paradigm shift, because Pluto moved into Aquarius November 19th and will stay here for the next 20 years. Okay, and I am Sharon, your friendly astrologer. And again, this is your monthly forecast for January 2025. Now, right out of the gate, we have Mars retrograde, we have Jupiter retrograde, and we have Uranus retrograde. Okay, and also the lunar nodes, they'll be changing on the 11th of January into Pisces North Node and Virgo South Node. Okay, and on the very first day of January, we have Mars in Leo opposing Pluto in Aquarius on the 1st. Okay, so that's a lot of tension starting the new year. And hopefully you can get through it without hurting yourself in some way or other. Okay, but this is happening in your 6th house, Pisces rising, and this is the house of health, nutrition, routine work, co-workers, and subordinates. So you might want to get checked in. You might want to check in with your doctor and get a checkup, because Mars has a lot of inflammation with it. Okay, and Pluto is the higher octave of Mars. It goes way deep and get to the root of things and then bring it back up and make something better. Whereas Mars is, the god of war. And if he can't repair it, he'll just cut it right off. Okay? So whatever that means to you in your sixth house, it would have to do with your co-workers and the people that you work closely with. And at this time, your efforts to affect others and to change or transform the conditions around you may meet with considerable resistance. Okay? If you are in a struggle with an opponent at work, make sure you position yourself with the people behind you. Okay? You need people behind you to reinforce whatever it is that political issue at work is happening for you. And try not to just handle these things alone, okay? Because it won't be in your best interest. So you need the popular opinion with you. All right, Pisces rising. Uranus in Taurus turns retrograde on the 2nd, and this is in your 3rd house. This house is related to your siblings, your close neighbors, your communication, your friends, short trips, and your early education. You have a chance to resolve any issue with your siblings or friends now with Uranus being in retrograde. You may have a sibling that is unpredictable, and they may also be and have some erratic behavior. And you probably know if this is true. If not, it's okay. Okay, Venus moves into Pisces on the 3rd, and this is happening in your 1st house, Pisces rising. This is the house of self, personality, and physical body. This is not the time for defense, but rather the time to make peace among others. Okay? Let's see. You may act as the go-between to help your siblings or friends resolve their differences as well, which is a good thing. And just remember, Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Venus is a magnetizer. She magnetized money to her. She magnetized good people. So she brings all the goodness in because she is the goddess of love, and she wants everybody around her to be happy. Okay, that's what Venus is all about, is love. All right, so then we have the Sun in Capricorn trining Saturn in Pisces on the 4th. Okay, and this is happening in your 11th house of friends, groups, community, social connections, hopes, and wishes. And this also connects with the internet as well. You may be helping a group of friends stay on track with work that requires discipline and self-control. And whatever you do now, the results may be lasting, okay? People will recognize you for that at some point. So we have Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces on the 6th, Pisces rising. So you hear me? You have Neptune in Pisces. You have Saturn that's in Pisces. Let's see. What else is in Pisces before I move on? Saturn and Neptune and Venus, okay? So you have Venus, Saturn, and Neptune all in your sign, and they're working things out here for you. So, it could be some emotional moments here with all of this Piscean energy affecting you now. Okay, let's see. What was I saying? Okay, Neptune is in Pisces on the 6th, and this is in your 10th house. And this is your house of career, your public life, such as how you are viewed in the world. Okay, this is what people see here in this 10th house because it's the highest point in the sky. The 10th house is the house of career, public life, such as how you are viewed in the world. I said that before. Sorry about that, Pisces rising. Be careful and formulate exactly what you want to convey to coworkers, bosses, and subordinates, because there's a possibility that a misunderstanding will happen. You may choose to keep a secret or hold back information in order to avoid a confrontation with someone. Okay, so just be aware of what is happening in the background. Okay, so you're getting a heads up. So we have the Sun in Capricorn squaring Chiron in Aries on the 7th, and this is also happening in your 11th house. Well, not also, but it is happening in your 11th house. This is the house of friends, group, community, social connections, hopes, and wishes. This is, Chiron is the wounded healer, and he sheds light on those weak areas within us so that we can work on them and become stronger, more confident, okay, and more caring, really, because once you heal those things that hurt you and you hide them, once you heal them, then you can come out being a stronger human being. Okay, so the healing here involves your community and long-term goals. Chiron is healing your ego and self-expression, which is great. You recognize it and you can change the way you conduct yourself in public. Self-expression by confronting issues related to your core identity. How do you really feel about yourself? And the life path in a way for you to foster a more authentic expression of yourself. Just what I was saying earlier. You can be a better person, and knowing who you are, really, you can express that to the public and they'll see it. Okay? So we have a full moon on the 12th in Cancer. There's a lot of water here for you, Pisces rising. And this is on the 12th in your 5th house. And this is the house of children, creativity, fun, risk-taking, romance, sex, and fertility. So this is the fun house. It may be difficult to conceal your feelings from others, okay? Because there's so much water. I understand that, Pisces rising. During this time, you should try to be yourself now and feel who you are in your relations to others. You may reconsider a friendship, okay? So this is typical for Pisces to, spread into, other people. It's like you haven't set the boundaries for yourself and you end up trying to mimic them, or you are an empath, so with that empathic energy you automatically feel what they feel, but it's not you. And that's what you need to recognize, is where you begin and where someone else begins, okay? Those are separate things, and that person is not you. So this is really what this moon is saying for you. And this is like hidden because it's the full moon and it illuminates. So that's whatever is behind the veil. And this is part of what that is for you to start working on to make you a bit stronger when it comes to having to be around people, when communicating with them. You'll have a sense of yourself and you can stand in your own power. Okay? So let's see, we have Pluto in Aquarius, Cazimi to the Sun in Aquarius at 1 degree 5 seconds on the 22nd, on the 21st. And this is in your 12th house. Now, Pisces, rising. The 12th house is the house of endings, undoing, loss, retreat, escape, letting go, and institutions. Okay? This is also a house of past lives. And you've been here, done that. Pisces, yeah, you've been here, done that. So this is where Pluto is clearing out what no longer serves you. And it could be unconscious energy from past lives that you may not recognize, but it comes up so that you can decide how you want to handle this. Okay, getting to the bottom of something as well. This may encourage you to revel in the dark and embrace your shadow side. This is where you can do your shadow work. And a lot of times, if it's hard for you to do it in your day time, a lot of times you work this kind of energy out in your dream life. Okay? So, if things are coming up for you in your dreams, try to journal it. That will help you see what is going on in your dreams, and it may bring a light bulb moment to you, and that's the way you release things that are no longer serving you. Okay? Let's see. It says, embrace your shadow side, explore your power dynamics, and seek out what's hidden in the subconscious. So that's, where I'm coming from. Take notes if you can, if it's happening for you in your dreams, or if even in the daytime, if you have an epiphany, write that down, because that could be something that's showing up from your subconsciousness. Okay, Pisces rising. And then the last thing I have for you for the month of January is this new moon in Aquarius, and that's on the 29th. And this is also in your 12th house. Okay. So, with this new moon in your 12th house, it kind of gives you a way to escape. And you might do some daydreaming here. You may not want to interact with or socializing with others, because during this new moon, it is a good time to be alone so that you can face some of the aspects of yourself, as I was just mentioning with Pluto and Aquarius Cazimi. So there is definitely some opportunity for you to get down to the bottom of something that may be reoccurring for you, that wants to be dissolved. Okay? So it's something that you are reluctant to face. This is also a good time for any mystical or spiritual discipline. So yeah, meditation is also something good for you. This is also a good time to, maybe see a therapist or get a astrology consultation, do some yoga or learn yoga, so that will help you bring forth some of the issues that's stuck in the um, the muscle memory of our bodies, because our muscles hold a lot of information from birth, from past lives as well. Okay, so Pisces rising, this is your forecast for January 2025. And I love you. And until next time, bye for now.